Oh, there, greetings. All right, yeah, we're in a different location tonight. My guides last Sunday, I had this feeling of getting the hell out of where, you know, going somewhere different. So I'm in Orlando again. I'll be here next week, next weekend. No surprise there. So I went to the Magic Kingdom and whatever that other place is. It'll be uploaded. Who cares? Um, Interesting though, I was at the Magic Kingdom and I'm just minding my own business, getting away from all that bizarre music that they play there. What the fuck? They have like kids play it, listen to that stuff's very bizarre, but whatever. As I was leaving, I had an image of a ship, and just it was pretty major. It was just there for a moment. I was not looking for it. Like I just felt like I connected to one just instantly, and then it all disconnects this way. So I didn't see one. I just felt the I just like saw in mind's eye and I felt it for like a second. And it was pretty big. It was a saucer too. But I didn't see anything. Interesting though. I mean I make I didn't mention I did mention the video because yeah I showed it. There was a chemtrail. I joke about being chemtrail before I come to these things, and sure enough, there was a chemtrail up in the sky, and I even got on video as I was talking. So that's funny. I'm not sure if that's funny, but it's whatever it is. So sometimes you gotta get out and do something a little bit different. So it's been a while. So I wasn't planning on doing that. So sometimes it's gonna be sporadic. And eventually I'm gonna go to California one of these days and wreak havoc there. But not yet. Time's not right yet, but eventually. Poor California. So okay, so the border wall and alien disclosure. Is there a connection there? I would say yes. Um, Now Gina, I'm doing a radio show with her next week, mentioned it, and it makes sense. Um, I've had I've been blocked from it. I don't know what the hell is going on. I kind of just moved on, but she got a message about it, and it makes it's. I've seen what I saw. I made a video about it. About I did see like there's some like data dump or something like that, a major one. Now, this is in the future. Now this is like a possible future. I don't know. Like a major UFO dump, and then the government shuts down because of it. Who knows? Now we've already had some in the past, but um, now it does make. Obviously, they're not going to tell me anything. I mean, you never know. I'm kind of just grabbing what I can, but uh, this current shutdown does not make any sense. Uh, about a border wall, and the border walls aren't that effective. I mean, it might seem like it might seem like say like it is, but like they say talk about them going underneath it and stuff. It might have some effect, but not 100% effect. And I think I mean they have the money to do it too if they need to do it. It's just kind of bizarre. So there's a lot of other areas there, but does this go into alien disclosure? Is well, there's a lot. I mean, there are timelines where this can become very active in our reality, where at least information is it's nonstop, meaning that we're finally getting some feedback finally from the government or somebody that we're not here by ourselves. It's taken more seriously instead of laughed at and covered up. So there's a high possibility of it, yes. That's what's going on right now. I imagine there's many things going on, but a shutdown just yeah, there's the shadow government is more in control. I mean, They won't let Trump do whatever he wants. They can intervene. They'll find a way. I don't know how they'll do it, but they'll do it. So they want this to happen. So it's made. You're not going to let him do something that they don't want to do. I doubt it. Or he'll get an illness or something like that. That, who knows? I mean, they don't just let people do whatever they want. Not in that position. So they want this to happen. Well, at least a part of it does. Either way, they're compromising. So for alien disclosure, it's a high possibility. I wouldn't doubt it. At least, obviously, there's a lot of debate on it, and there's a lot of, especially my connections, other connections, might play a role in it. I would hope so. That would be nice to get some. I don't know about credit for it, but it'd be nice to get some, because obviously this does exist in the shadow elite, and making it public is. I mean, it's got to open up eventually. At least, I mean, as we open up more to ourselves. Now, I was going to do a connection about the demonic stuff some more. Burn myself out, so I'm going to give that a rest for right now. I really tired myself out. I did a lot recently on it. I got to pull back on it because I wore myself out on it. So for right now, at least, I'm not done. It's just when you connect to this, and that's probably why one of the reasons why I'm wiped out. I've been wiped out all day. Well, it's been a pretty good day in the long run. Everything worked out pretty decently until when I came up to this area to where I am now. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but other than that, it's been fine. Yeah, where things are going. As for UFO disclosure, the likelihood, I would say, is always increasing. And the government, now there's a part of the shadow government that doesn't want anything to do with this. And there's already been leaks about this stuff here and there, but there could be a major data, I call it data dump, but a data release, or even a government official. They already have some in the past, but then the media's been blacking it out. I mean, CNN is basically the Trump hate machine. If they ever look at themselves, what they're doing, it looks like they're just kids. It's just like high school, maybe less than that. It's bad, but it's working. I mean, there's still CNBC is the same thing. It's just, you can say all the whole media is pretty much the same thing when you think about it. But yeah, where we're heading is it'd be nice to have some kind of disclosure, at least information to be surrounded. I mean, if you go to Roswell, New Mexico, I haven't been there, but I've seen videos of it, and it's like it's an alien town. They take it very seriously, and some might, but not. But it's alien town basically, and it's like obviously in the desert, and disconnected from the rest of the world, you can say. But for alien disclosure, there's a possibility of because I've been doing a lot of connections recently too, of physical beings, and just like I said, I'm kind of cooling off on a lot of stuff. It's been pretty heavy recently, at least from my connections. It's been pretty heavy. Like I said, I feel Anunnaki energies playing a role. It's like how long is the hoax going to go on? It's hard to say, but there's a possibility. What is the possibility of like Army officials starting to bring this stuff that they know, just saying the hell with it. But once again, their money and all that, you don't want to risk their family and stuff like that. So, but that doesn't mean there won't be approval down the road. So I believe that alien disclosure is going to shift eventually. When is another story. I mean, a secret space program is fine and everything, but you don't really see much results. Not really. I mean, it sounds fascinating and everything, but you don't really see anything. Not really. I mean, you see SpaceX and you see with the other commercial stuff, but it's still in the early stages of it. But the Galactic Army or Galactic Space Army, whatever you want to call it, or whatever, as soon as Trump talked about the Space Force, you just take that and there's like a million videos probably on it, and there's not much really been spoken about it for good reason. So who knows? It's been kind of hinted on here and there, but there's a possibility. Well, at least I'm picking up on is somebody that's in government that is army related or military related is kind of being prepped possibly for some kind of disclosure. Might be a young guy too, might not be an old one. It feels like it's a guy of some kind. Yeah, so there's a possibility. It's this whole shutdown's kind of a hoax, basically. For Trump, it's very real, and for others, it's very real. But you can't trust what you see on the outside for sure. It has not been the easiest thing to connect to what's going on for obvious reasons. They don't want you going through their drawer, through their information. So you're maybe using your remote viewers or whatever is blocking it. It makes sense. I mean, the more I try to connect to it, I get drained. I haven't been connecting to it. Stay away from it. I figure it'll open up. The alien connection makes a lot of sense. I haven't gone that direction because I have not really gotten anything from my source energy, but that doesn't mean it's not true. But I believe there is validation to it. I mean, how long can this go on? I mean, how long? I mean, that's another thing. I feel CIA energies recently. I didn't channel them today. But I've felt it. I've joked about it, but I've been feeling them recently. They're plugging into the shadow part of Google and YouTube. We don't see views, you don't see searches or anything like that. The shadow parts of. So that's why they interfere with streams and all of that, because they can. Fuck them. Or CIA or somebody like that, but somebody part of those agencies. They might not even have a name to them. Who cares? They're there. They're there, all right. That's for sure. You can definitely connect. They can't hide everything. They can't hide themselves, at least vibrationally. They're not that smart. There's too much of it to hide. There's just no way to really do that. You can't connect to their spiritual energy, and really there is deception there within the government, meaning they're not telling us the truth for obvious reasons. I mean, what happened on 9/11 with the Pentagon, it's pretty obvious they're not really very good at telling the truth. So there is a shadow of elites, basically, to say anything. That's why the news media is the clown networks. All of them are pretty much. Even the alternative are being manipulated in some regard. Just the way it is. And when they're used to being melodramatic and all that, it's like it's high school. It's all high school. And it's unfortunate, but it's growing pains. But as we go into the higher dimensional thinking, it's going to take some time, of course. But with this, what's going on with alien disclosure here? Oh, that's right. Let me go into the CIA stuff. I was going to channel CIA and the Illuminati while I was here. I was thinking about that earlier today. It's like a little bit of, I'm not saying it's going to be positive. I'm just saying we're going to give you what they got. Well, I think it's good to get their point of view. Let's put it that way. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, it just sort of came in. It's like let's give you a little bit of a glimpse and take it for a grain of salt. I mean, if you like it or not, who cares? The CIA energies. Now, obviously, there's a positive side of it, definitely. But there's a negative side. The negative side. Let's see. One moment. Let's see if I can connect. I know I can connect to them, but I'm trying to weed out some of their darkness. Let's put it that way. All right, we'll just I have to treat it like the Men in Black in some regard. There's a lot of error. Let's do a conscious connection because I don't want them to. Well, we'll just either way. They think they're very arrogant. The darker side of the CIA. They're very arrogant. They don't think anything of humanity. I think we're just pawns. We're just a bunch of shill idiots, basically. We're just here to fund their operations by going to work and Walmart and all of that. We're treated like scum, basically. Majority are treated pretty terribly. Those that do have pretty good incomes, the last thing on their mind is CIA or government. Yeah, they do what the media sells because they put on a good show. It's like those that have pretty decent careers go by what the media is programming them. So they could, the puppet show is doing well, isn't it? So those that are really suffering on this world, some have a pretty good idea what's going on. Yeah. They don't like it, but part of their awakening is poverty. And like 2008 is when it woke me up. So, but they realize that those without funds, they don't have to worry about them. They're being pretty much treated like ants, like insects. They can just stomp on them. And that's coming from the CIA, which makes sense. Walmart is used as like the Death Star. Yes, it's a dark entity, energy. Now, it's not all dark, but a lot of it is. It's like the mindset of you can get this stuff cheap and cheap goods and humanity is cheap, life is cheap. It's just another form of programming, basically, of people will never get out of this economic situation. They can, but things are going to change eventually. The CIA energies, though, they don't think much. Yeah, once again, they don't think much of humanity at all. They're in this elite group. They've been chosen. They're super excited about it. They give the middle finger to humanity on a daily basis. They abuse their power all the time. They are themselves like children. They know it. And they use it to their advantage still. It's like, how low can you go? They go very, very low. Mind controlling people, hurting children, I don't care. That's not, they go for all of them, but it goes for a certain amount. Some have bets on how low they can, how much of a scumbag they can really be. Because remember, or understand, they live well. Most of them do. They don't get fired as long as they do their job. But some of them, even their people above them, it's like go be a scumbag. And they watch their employees fight against each other. Who can be the biggest piece of shit? Yeah, it gets pretty sick. A lot of this is used against in the Middle East. They even use like military against each other. Like U.S. military is pawns of the CIA. Now, I understand they don't always do this stuff, but there is an elite group that is involved. So it's kind of like, now, what will you do about all this? Just know what's kind of give an idea of what's out there. Basically, a government agency, and this isn't going for all of them. I'm not saying all are bad, but some are just complete scumbags. It's like it's like, who's your enemy? You might want to, this whole Russia thing is kind of a joke. It's a smoke screen, once again. China, it's sometimes the biggest enemy is the one that is saying that these other people are enemies when the enemy is looking right at you. So, it's like the enemy of the people are broadcasting about Russia when it's the person saying it is actually the villain. I want you to connect with that one. CNN, whatever. CNN sold itself out. That's ran by the government. A version of it, a shadow version of it. The Illuminati version. That's another thing about a lot of these actors and actresses, even in music, but mostly actors and actresses are agreed to Illuminati timelines. And then, because they're like actors and actresses of the Illuminati, they're being entertained. They're entertaining the Illuminati and the people. So music's a little bit different. Music has obviously mind control written all over it. So that's more like a contract, a different type of contract. Hollywood is different. It's like Hollywood kind of sell their soul. Some of them do. Music, it's just a different type. It's different. It's not as intense as it might seem like it is. I feel like Hollywood's stronger in a lot of ways, but I don't know if music makes more. It doesn't matter, but it's just music. I guess music isn't what it used to be, but it still plays a role. It's not as intense. For some, it is like Jay-Z, stuff like that. I don't follow, but I guess it just wasn't. It's working, but isn't working like it used to. Either way, it's part of a different division. Hollywood is really the Marxist, or that's probably a bad word for it, but it's really used against the people too. But a lot of these Illuminati figures are representing themselves through these actors and stuff like that. Kind of like there's a lot of code. That's what came in today. There's a lot of codes within everything. Dissecting this stuff is not easy. Connecting to these movies in the fourth and fifth dimension should give you a little bit more understanding of what's going on slightly. It's not the easiest to connect to. A lot of military energies are in Hollywood, obviously, to keep control over it. You got to make sure that they don't wake people up too soon, or they're careful about it. Now, music's a different story. Music's mostly about emotions or love, or it's always the same thing, recycled in a lot of ways, not always. Katy Perry is definitely under my control. They just showed me that as a major one. And you can say it's connected to the CIA to some degree. They have fun with that one. She's just easy. She's like a robot, a Barbie doll for them. Yeah, when you see her, it's all over YouTube about her being mind control. Yep. She gave her soul away, and she's not about to change. Now, Lady Gaga, I feel like she's changed, but yes and no. Because she did join Hollywood, so it's a different type of mind control, but I think she feels more free. But she is kind of like a Illuminati puppet to some degree. She has some freedoms there, but she is part of the MKULTRA program. It's a little bit more sophisticated with her, though, because she's trying to make herself look normal, and it is working because she shows her faults and all that, but there is something else going on there. I mean, she's not as innocent as she might look like, because her musical past, Illuminati symbolism all over it. It might be a joke, but still there. She's trying to look like she's normal. Something, yeah, it's just don't buy into it, basically. So let's see. Alien Disclosure, they're kind of laughing about that, but doesn't mean it's been taken seriously, meaning does the government shutdown have anything to do with it? They're not talking about that. But it is, Alien Disclosure is, it's in the mainstream, it's laughed at, obviously. They do take it seriously, but they figured, they put comedy and, like Men in Black and stuff like that. They're trying to goof it up where people don't take it seriously. But it is serious with them, though. Meaning that if you say something or do something around that subject matter, you can't get fired or end up dead. It all depends. For one guy or something. Yeah, you can end up dead most likely, or just destroyed. Probably dead most likely. So I wonder why there's no disclosure. Is because a lot of these people are, anyone that says it, there's different types of government. There is a government that can't keep itself quiet. They know what they're doing. I mean, they go after your health. If there's something you don't want, I mean, some of these government people understand the public government is totally different than the shadow government. The public government's a joke. Yeah, they can't keep a secret. That's the whole point of it. But the shadow government's a whole different deal. They can mess with your health. They can mess with your mind. They know what they're doing. Yeah, you don't mess with these people. It might seem like a joke because you can't prove it, because they can fuck with you without even knowing you. They know exactly what they're doing. I mean, you have Lockheed Martin buy a tourism area here in Orlando. What the fuck is that doing there? And it's a major installation. I mean, with guards and all. I mean, you would think it was the military. What the hell are they doing there? It's right next, like a road away from the tourist spot, the major one. It's like having a major military installation, by Las Vegas Strip. It's like, yeah, it's not that, no, but it's there. You go, and looking it up is not easy. You can look it up on Google, but you can't find anything other than that. You can't find anything on it. Gee, I wonder why. So it's spooky. So this stuff's here. They just don't. They put it in your face, but they don't say anything. So, and obviously, a lot of these groups are used for mind control and all that. MKULTRA, the Lockheed Martin, Boeing, all these companies. SpaceX, unfortunately, is probably involved with it to some degree. I think they're getting their funding from. Shadow groups. Nothing's as cut and dry and wonderful as you like to think. Not to say everything's bad, but there is some other stuff going on there. So let's see here. CIA energies. I'm just connected to their consciousness. They do take this stuff the UFO stuff very seriously. Now they're not talking about the shutdown. They're not allowed to talk about that. There is a lot of Zeta gray energy. I think they kind of hate the Zeta because they screwed their technologies and stuff. You can't trust them very well. Even the Men in Black are just shut down by the Zetas too. The Zetas are very powerful. The Palladians kind of keep their step back. They keep away. Tall whites can be a pain in the ass too. Tall whites can be even worse because the tall whites can viciously attack government officials. Do some major mental damage when they get pissed, especially with their families, because tall whites do have their families here somewhere. I think you heard stories of that. They do have them here. So, yeah, somewhere on the military area somewhere. I don't know if that'll ever be put. They're keeping this, it's Roswell didn't exactly happen the way it was told, but you have an idea of it. It's good enough. There's more to it, obviously. I'm trying to get some of the government shutdown stuff from them. Basically, there's a shadow elite involved with the shutdown that is reevaluating what to do with the government itself. I mean, they're going to take it to a new direction. They just haven't decided which direction to take it in. For right now. No, any president is a puppet, basically, but this one is, agreed to it. Trump does not know what the hell's going on. He's going to go on this border thing. He's like addicted to it. But he's kind of like a programmed robot, just like all of them. To just say stay tuned. They're not going to give me any details on it, but Pelosi is kind of like the devil in some regard. I'm not to say Trump is any perfect either, but, Pelosi used to be a man in her past life. She kind of has that qualities right here. She used to be a military male in her past life, so used to work for Napoleon. This is kind of stuff they talk about in the shadow elites. They know about this stuff. It's like, oh, how's your past life stuff? And, what alien group do you connect to? She doesn't connect to the Greys very much. Tall whites, not so much. Not telling me it's classified. So what's going on with the government energies is they can't obviously go into full detail. It's being reevaluated. There is many plans going on, but they can't say. Just a lot of the CIA, which is not a surprise, do like fall in love with some of the women here, stalk some of them in some shape or form, mind control their boyfriends in some regard. You know why some boyfriends get psycho on their girlfriends? Well, there's another force there. Yeah, you have a real attractive girl and she's with a guy that they can mess with. It can happen. It does happen. Where you just abuse or whatever, gets crazy, shoot somebody, whatever it is. I think there's another hand there. Obviously, you can't prove it, but that's the point of it. You think they want you to find out what they're doing? Because, I mean, no. Now, there are some rogue agents that do that stuff. It's like a side project. Nobody knows about it until after it happens. Like, what the fuck? And what is your residue here? I mean, you're a part of this? So, you don't really, if you really cause a lot of like death, then you get shut out. But if it's just like one, they don't care. They do, but they don't. It's really weird. If you really cause like mass hysteria, then you're in trouble. Now the cartels are highly messed with, and the Mexican MS-13 messed with mentally. Yeah, they turn into monsters. They're easy. They're like mind control pigs, is what they say. They have no idea. They're no. It's just a game. Think about it. You control somebody's mind like a video game. Now that's scary, but true. Think about it. You're on it. You think this stuff's all fun. You know, you get these shooter games and everything. Da, da, da. So in the shadow elites, they can plug into a real person and get them to do shit. So yeah. How about that? That's better than any drone program, that's for sure. You know, even with relationships and stuff, you know, take like an MS-13 gang, you know, get girlfriends, whatever, and you have somebody in Charlotte plugged into that, and people call you crazy for talking about. Of course, they'll call you crazy. You think they're gonna just let you know what the hell they're doing? You think I'm making this shit up? This is what they're telling me. Of course, I got believe this stuff's too unbelievable for people to believe. They don't give a shit. Makes my eyes all twitching. Yeah, it's like, it's a sick joke, but I mean, you want to know how this world works. I never thought about it that way. That's fucked up. That's pretty fucked up. Good, jeez. Man, let's talk about it, not Kansas anymore. It makes perfect sense. I know they don't do it a lot, but with the gang members, they can do it very easily. They're allowed to. They don't give a shit. But they do those, yeah, because yeah, it's just a mind game. So will this ever be well known? It'll be rumored about like MKUltra, which is laughed at for the most part. Like I said, if you're in the CIA, if you're in these groups, you know what the hell's going on. But if you're outside, it's like, no, everything's fine. It's a regular group, no big damn deal. Oh, rumors? Who gives a shit about that? I mean, if you can channel this stuff, it's happening somewhere, and it's happening here. So always has one example of it, at least. There's others, of course. So if they can run a MS-13 gang member, for example, and his mind control, oh fucker, like a video game, what do you think they do to politicians? And on. Politicians, definitely. Politicians, no doubt. So they can blank out their memory, they can fuck with their mind, fuck with their motor skills, whatever. I mean, they don't control them like every movement, but they can, you know, get them to do things, talk to them, put thoughts in their minds. I mean, what the fuck? They're allowed to do that. That's not darkness. That's scary shit. But for people that act irrational out of nowhere, like I said, they usually go, you know, gang members, for example, there's politicians and others for like relationships, because some of these guys fall in love with some of these girls and they just go mess with the boyfriend and screw it. It's usually that way. I don't think it's just the girl screwing with, like going psycho on the guy. That's very rare. It does happen, but it's mostly because mostly men are involved with There are females, but they're not that twisted. They can do, they got a wife, but some of these guys don't have a wife at all. You can say that's a reptilian side of them. There's a loneliness side of them. They have no life, whatever it might be. It's a power trip. I would say it's a reptilian side. Just feel it because of control, power. Might be other connections to it. Yeah. Loveliness. All right, so it's 12 o'clock. I'm running late on this one, obviously, so I'll stream this. All right, we'll just leave it at that. I won't put my sign on. Who cares? So, all right, yeah. If you want to know anything about me, there's a link down below. Or I forgot to put Neutron stuff on his. Forgot to put the information about his site yesterday on his video. So, all right, much love. Take care. I want to put paranoia out there. Don't connect to that, but realize how the world operates. Yeah, realize this is a small group they mess with. It's not everybody. They can. I don't think they're allowed to do it for most people, but people like gang members, and they find a way. If you're a target, they'll come after you. But gang members are easy. They're sold their soul. They don't really have a soul anymore, depending on who it is. That Bloods, Crips too. Mostly MS-13 because it's like a project for them. That's like a version of Al-Qaeda in some regards, sort of. Yikes. Scary. So, yeah. All right. Take care. All right. Blessings.